Here we go. All right, so we are going to get started. Go ahead and find the end of your mat. And let's get warm. So we're just going to start by just rolling our shoulders. Good, just kind of rolling out the weekend, right? Just enjoy some long shoulder rolls. Just start connecting to your breath. Let that breath move with your shoulders, inhaling on the way up and exhaling on the way down. Good, one more. Good, and clasp those hands behind you this time. Open up your shoulders. Good, and we're just going to take the head in a circle here, go in one direction. And now you're not forcing the head down or sideways or back, just kind of finding natural range of motion. Good, and slow down, and when you're ready, switch sides. Good, and we're going to take a breath, lift the arms. Bend your knees, exhale, soft fold. On an inhale, take the hands above the knees and sink the spine into standing cat. So we're lifting our tailbone and our heart. Push your shoulders down. Take a deep breath. Exhale through that to standing cat. Rounding the spine, chin to the chest. Push all the way up through the middle of your shoulder blades. And take a deep breath. And exhale all the way back down to that standing cow. And then on an exhale, all the way back up into your standing cat. Good, and let's bring the hands to the floor and step back with your right leg. Come up to a high lunge. And exhale. Put your right hand on the floor. See if you can get a little longer. Exhale to revolve lunge. Bring your hands to the floor. Step in and just inhale in a standing extension here. Pull the ribs off the hips. Long legs here. Drop your shoulders down towards your hips. Now exhale, bend your knees, hands back to the floor. Step back with your left leg, come up to high lunge. And take your left arm to the floor, lengthen out that lunge, revolve. Come back around, step in, and find your standing extension. And now see if you can take that a little lower towards a fold. Hands to the floor, walk both feet back. We're going to downward dog. We're going to take a few moments here to pedal. So one at a time, pushing the heel to the floor. Spread your fingers out on the floor. Press the fingertips into the floor. So your weight is not just focused into the palm heel. Good, now take a breath. Roll up onto the balls of your feet. Feel that big stretch in the arches of your feet. Inhale. Exhale, push both heels down. Remember, it's okay if they don't touch, but you're actively pushing like they're going to. And let's take a breath. Come into plank. Make sure you're being strong in that shoulder girdle. Don't let your shoulders inch up past your shoulder blades. Chaturanga to up dog. Press the top of your feet to the floor. Keep the elbows bent if you need to. And we're going to sit back here into child's pose. Sit the hips back, reach out with the hands. Press the heart toward the floor. Breathe all the way into your back. Good. Come up to tabletop and start by coming up into a cat pose. It's easy to kind of push into the lower back here. I want you to arch just a little more. Feel that move right in between your shoulder blades. Take a big breath. Exhale down into standing cat, or cat rather. We're not standing anymore, are we? Back up into our cat. And down into your cow. Good. Tuck your feet. Lift to downward dog. Good. And just take a walk to the top of your mat. Feet are parallel. Take a breath, standing extension. Lift the ribs off the hips and exhale. Just ease it down into your fold. Knees can still be soft here. We're working on straightening them always, right? But listen to your body. You'll know when it's okay to straighten. Bend your knees, unhinge. We're arriving back up into our mountain pose. Exhale into heart center. Good job. Inhale. Exhale, hinge and fold. Step back with your right leg. Turn your right leg and spiral up into warrior two. Good. Your left foot, or your left knee rather, is over that left ankle. And if I were to draw a straight line from my thigh, it's going the middle of my foot. It's easy to sort of let your knee cave in towards your big toe here. Keep it open. You have to actively open your hips. Pull back through those shoulder blades. Straighten your legs. Let's find triangle. Good. Keeping the bottom hand light. Pull that top hip toward the ceiling. Spiral all the way back up. Lift your left arm. So we're in reverse triangle here. Take a moment to press those hips forward. Good. Now we're going to take the left hand, that's your front hand, and put it on the back. Reach up with the other arm to assist. Now I want you to squeeze the elbows. So imagining opening your arms here, and exhale, bend that left knee, looking up where your hand would be if you were pointing at the ceiling. Good. Release that back to warrior two and spiral to the floor. Lift that back heel, step back to downward dog. Come forward into a plank. Chaturanga to up dog. And child's pose. From your child's pose, come up to tabletop and press yourself up onto your knees. Step forward with your left leg, so your right leg is back, just like it was in your warrior pose. Take a breath up in this kneeling lunge, and then reach behind you. You can clasp your arms, you can crisscross, whatever works for you to open up the front of your body. Keep your shoulders over your hips. You can even be here if you need to, if that assists in pushing your shoulders back. That's a good one if you have very tight hip flexors. Good. Inhale, put your hands on the floor. Now keep your back straight. Pull back into your hamstring. Remember, we're not trying to sit on our shin here. Keep it in the hamstring and the lower back. Just like someone is pulling your hips backward, they're right behind you. Good. And slide forward. You're just going to put your hands on the floor, and we're going to go back to downward dog. Now walk your hands to your feet. So you'll wind up at the bottom of your mat. Yes? Unhinge. Take a breath. On your exhale, hands come into heart center. Balance on your right leg. Pick up your left. Just cross it over and sit into single leg chair. You should feel this in your left hip, but try to keep both hips pushing backward. So there's no sense of going to the right, like we're sitting the hip over. Push both hips back. Heart stays tall, belly button is in. Just breathe. Good. Release that back to mountain pose. Take a breath. Exhale, hinge and fold. Now, keeping your legs straight, walk your hands all the way to plank. So you're walking towards the top of your mat. Just take one breath here. Now walk your feet to your hands. So kind of like an inchworm, right? Now you're back at the top of your mat. Inhale, standing extension. Now on your exhale, relax your right leg. So I'm just bending my right leg, and I'm going to put my left arm on my shin or the floor. Turn to your right. Then just switch your hands. Keep your right leg relaxed and turn to your left. Come back to the center and straighten your legs. Bend your left leg and turn to your left. Put your left arm down, inhale, and turn to the right. Come back to the center. Press through the feet and unhinge. Roll your shoulders at the top, and let's take a big breath and into heart center. Inhale up, exhale, hinge and fold. Step back with your left leg. Turn that left leg and come up into your warrior two. So you should be on the other side now. Check in with that right knee. Make sure it's right over the center of your foot. Knees are not past the toes. Get those shoulders back and down. And straighten. Good strong legs here. Over we go to triangle. Push that left hip up toward the ceiling and open up, looking at the ceiling. Good, keep your legs straight and come up to unhinge. And we're gonna lift the right arm. So reverse triangle, find that distance between your right hip and your right hand. And now bring that right hand to your back above you. Grab to assist with your left. Roll the shoulders open. Remember, there's an outward feeling of the elbows. Exhale and sink. We're looking up where our hand would be if we could reach for the ceiling. And spiral to the floor. Step back to downward dog. Make your way to your plank. Chaturanga to up dog. And sit back, child's pose. Push up from your child pose into tabletop and then roll up onto your shins in your hero's pose. We're going to get our balance and then step forward with your right knee or right leg. You're on your left knee. Roll the shoulders open. Grab those arms behind you. Get your posture here. Just releasing. You're not just, I know what you feel is this left hip flexor, but feel that release underneath in your right leg as well. And again, keep your shoulders over your hips. Just find your breath here. Good, inhale, put your hands on the floor. Exhale, back stays straight, pull into the hamstring. Someone's just reaching behind you or coming up behind you and pulling your hips back. Good, from here, we're gonna slide forward, step back to downward dog. And now walk your hands to your feet. So you're going to the back of your mat, bend your knees, unhinge, take a deep breath up. And then we're gonna come into heart center, balance on the left leg, lift the right, single leg chair. Good, both hips push back. Use all four corners of your feet. Remember, like that foot is a rectangle. You want to push all four corners into the floor. And take a deep breath up. Bring those feet back to parallel. Exhale, hinge and fold. Walk the hands back to the top of your mat and wind up in your plank. Take a breath. And then on your exhale, walk your feet to your hands and you're back at the top of your mat. Good. Bend your left knee. Turn to your left. Put your left hand down and turn to your right. Come back to the center and straighten your legs and fold. And now bend your right knee. Leave your left hand down, turn to your right. Right hand to the floor and exhale, turn to your left. Inhale, standing extension. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees, unhinge. Take a deep breath up. Join me up here in mountain pose and heart center. Great job. All right, take a breath. We're going to go back to that single leg chair, but now we're going to be at the top of our mat. Take a breath. And we're going to balance. Lift the right leg first. Sit into your single leg chair. Good. So notice this openness of the hip here. Now I'm going to take my leg, cross it as high as I can. I might wrap the foot, but it's also okay if you just set your toe on the ground, but you're squeezing in your inner thighs no matter what you do. Good. We're going to take, so the leg you're standing on, that's the arm that goes under. You can wrap here. You can also just give yourself a hug or even just come to prayer hands. But try to get that shoulder stretch. You can go here too. Good. Sink that down and then try to lift your hands. Good. Release that. Set your right leg halfway back. Take a big breath. Good. Now watch me first if you want to. We're going to hinge forward and then open up into half moon. Big, big balance move. Okay. So we're going to slow that down, of course. Here we go. Hinge forward. Now just begin to slowly turn to your right. Take your left hand, teacup attitude, about 6 inches out in front of your left foot. Options here, put your foot down and just open up. You can also put both hands down and just work on opening the hip. Remember, it's okay if you lose your balance. Inhale as you turn toward the top of your mat. Pick up that leg a little further, standing split. If you need a modification, put your foot down and split your fold. Step back with your right foot. Come up to warrior two. Now take your back hand. That should be your right hand. Bring it behind you. If you can wrap to the thigh, great. Don't worry if you can't. Good. Now turn your left palm up, and I'm going to reach out beyond my left leg. Lay my ear on my arm. Look back at your right shoulder. My knee is still bent. Now straighten and take that into triangle. Take a deep breath. Roll that right shoulder open. See if you can open your heart toward the ceiling just a little more. Very good job. Turn toward the top of your mat. Step back to downward dog. Good. Inhale, lift your right leg into three-leg dog. When you're ready, bring that right leg under you, finding a Monday morning pigeon. Reach back. So keep this back leg pushing into the floor. Flex your front foot. You can be off of the hips, or if you need to modify, come down on the hip. Do what works for you. Take a deep breath and pull your ribs off your hips, then reach forward. So we never want to think of like we're rounding. It's more lengthening, right? Good. Even if you're on your hip, you're still pressing the back foot into the floor. Think about pushing your left hip down here. Good job. Walk yourself up to your hands, tuck your foot, and just go back to downward dog. And plank, chaturanga to up dog, and child's pose. Back to downward dog. Take a walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, standing extension. Exhale and fold. Good, now come back. Inhale, standing extension. I'm going to give you the option here. You can just fold just what you just did, or grab the arms behind you and add that reach over. Up to you. So fold or fold option. Good. Either way, release the hands, press up all the way back up into your mountain pose. Bring the hands into heart center. Take one breath here. Good. Take a breath. Lift your left leg. First, single leg chair. Good. Now take this leg. Listen, I want you to cross your leg up high. Get your inner thighs. If you got to put your foot down, that's fine. Wrap if you can, but it's really about the inner thighs. Squeeze them together. And now this time we'll take the right arm on the bottom and the left arm on the top and wrap. Now you might be different on this side. I am, because my left shoulder is tighter. And sit into this eagle pose. Once you get here, try to lift the heart and the hands. And release that. Good. Take a breath. We're going to hinge forward. Now slowly open to your left. Set your right hand 6 inches in front of your right foot. Open the body. Try to turn the belly button to the left. If this is too easy for you, look up at your top hand. And inhale, turn toward the top of your mat, push that foot up to standing split, or set it down and split your fold. Set that left foot all the way back and spiral up to warrior two. And now take your back hand, wrap it behind you. You can grab the thigh if you can go that far. Good. Take your right hand, turn it palm up, keep the legs bent. Reach over past that right leg, lay your face down on that right hand. Look up at the ceiling. And straighten, keep your arm wrapped, go to triangle, roll that left shoulder open, and try to open up the heart to the ceiling. Good, turn toward the top of your mat, step back to downward dog. And lift your left leg into 3-leg dog. And with your breath, bring your left leg under you. Modifying, find that pigeon that you need today. Wiggle those ribs off your hips. Exhale, make yourself long. Remember, it's okay if you're sitting up too. Push into the top of the foot with your back leg. And walk yourself up. Push back to downward dog. And then to plank. Chaturanga up dog. And back to child's pose. Come back to downward dog. Take a walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, standing extension. Pull the ribs off your hips. Big exhale and fold. Should feel like you're folding farther now than when we started class. Bend your knees, lift your gaze, and unhinge. Take a breath. Exhale into prayer. Good. And I just want you to soft fold down onto your knees and let your arms relax. From here, bring yourself to seated. And start with your right leg in the front. So we're in our easy pose. Now, if your knees are healthy and you want to put your right leg on top and go half lotus, you can. Good. Take a breath. Good. Now, my right leg's in the front. So I'm going to put my right hand in the front. Turn to my left. Both fingertips are on the floor, and I'm just turning. Now come center, bring the hand center. Now I'm going to set my right hand back and my left hand in front. Push your left hip down, and I'm just going to bow over my right leg. Press your left hip down. Unhinge, bring your hands back into heart center and switch your legs. So now my left leg is in the front. Inhale up and take my left hand in the front and my right hand in the back. Turn to your right. Bring the hands back into heart center. Take a breath. Right hand in the front, left hand in the back. Exhale and bow over your left leg. Push your right hip down. And release that. Sit long on your mat. Take a breath. And just reach those ribs forward to wherever you can. So don't push yourself here. Just reach where you're going to reach. Feel for that release. When you're ready, walk the sit bones back and let yourself fold. Good. Unhinge. We're going to come down and first do a bridge. So bring yourself down. Push your hips up. Exhale and release. Now, what I'd like for you to do is walk your heels closer to your glutes and lift again. Then take your hands, elbows on the floor, hands on your hips, push up a little higher. Really breathe into your belly here. And release that down. Cross your right leg over your left. And now using your left leg, pull your right foot in. So I'm not crunching my body. I'm just using my left leg as a lever. And then I'm going to reach through the window here, grabbing my left leg. And that's just to assist. Notice my left leg is flexed, my foot, and I'm pushing in that right leg. Find your breath in your belly and let that go all the way to the tailbone, out to the hip. Good. From here, with your left hand, grab your right foot. Extend your left leg down and your right leg up. Leave your right shoulder on the floor. We're going to drop over to our left. Good. Keep your right shoulder on the floor. If you need to change the grip from the big toe hold, you can. And exhale, come back to center. Good. And we're going to cross the left leg over the right. Use your right leg, pull your left knee in. So my right foot is flexed and it's pushing in with the knee. Shoulders can stay relaxed. Again, find that breath in your hip. And now with your right hand, big toe hold the left. Release your right leg to the floor. Push your left leg to the ceiling. Open up that left shoulder. And we're going to drop to the right. Keep your left shoulder on the ground. If you need to change the grip, you can. Bring that back to the center. Give your legs a hug. Just allow yourself to roll from the back of your hip to hip through the tailbone. And now let's put our feet together, knees apart. Recline your bound pose. Put your hands on your inner thighs. And now bring your hands to prayer. Good. Take your arms up above your head and let your thumbs touch the floor. You're going to feel a little arch in the back here. Just release here, breathe. Walk your feet together and then apart. So now my knees can fall together. Relax your hands down by your side. We've arrived at our rest pose. Now you can stay here or start here. And then when you're ready, move out to corpse pose. Or maybe you need a different pose. There is no wrong way to Savasana except to not Savasana. Close your eyes. Feel the muscles of your face relaxing. Your eyes becoming heavy. Relax your jaw. Let your tongue fall back into the back of your throat. And with that, feel the front of your neck release and work your way around to the back of your head and your neck. almost like the back of your neck is falling toward the floor. Notice the back of your shoulders and your shoulder blades release. Let that move out your arms to all the way to your fingertips. Notice that your breath is going all the way to your belly. And now use that to expand the ribs as you breathe, paying attention to your spine as you travel down, lingering anywhere that you need to. Releasing any tension into the floor. When you arrive at your tailbone, just take a few moments to breathe there. Feel your hips release and your glutes relax. Journey down your legs now. Feel your knees soften. Just really take a moment here to just kind of savor the depth of your breath. Begin to feel your body in contact with the floor. And wiggle your fingers and toes. When you're ready, roll to one side and join me seated. And we'll just begin to roll the shoulders here. Good. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale up. Push the room away. Set your fingertips on the floor and roll your shoulders. And inhale up. Exhale to heart center. And God bless you. Namaste. Have an extraordinary day. Good job, everybody.
Thank you. Everybody have a good day.
Have a good day,
Bye, everybody.